Hello everyone, this is Taryn with Wonderfully Made Handcrafting, and today I'm working on day 5 of ByTheWell4God's Subject to Change devotional kit. Now day 5 is talking about the prophet Jeremiah and just the hardships he experienced in life. It is said that his life was lived in a minor key, and so that is actually the title of today's devotional, Life in the Minor Key. Jeremiah dealt a lot with hostility and discouragement in his 40 years of ministry, and in Lamentations though we still read joy from him. And in Lamentations 3:22 through 23 it says, "The steadfast love of the Lord never ceases, his mercies never come to an end. They are new every morning, great is your faithfulness." I can almost not say that verse without singing the song, but that is what we are talking about on day 5's devotional. Now on this background, I decided to use that Define stamp. I'm going to be using this everywhere, but I just chose one of those, and then I gessoed the background to tone it down a little bit. And here I am coming in with some coffee mixed with water, just, that instant coffee, and I put it in a spray bottle. Now, after doing some research, I'm not sure if I'm going to be doing this a lot. I really love the look that it gives, but I'm not sure about the longevity of it and how it reacts with paper over the years to come since it's acidic. I really like how cheap the coffee spray is and the look that it gives and how it is easily built up in the background. However, I definitely think I'll be moving back to just using my distress spray stains, maybe diluting them a little bit with water and just seeing what kind of look I can get from it. So I had used some tea to dye this tea bag and make it more of a creamy color. However, I decided that the plain white tea bag really popped off the page better, and so I decided to go with that one. Now for these florals, I used that frosted crystals and the embossing dabber that I have to make a more matte look and more of a vintage feel kind of. I had previously done that after printing those off at UPS, and so that was already done. I did use this We Are Memory Keepers to create that little spiral punch at the top, and I will come in with my scissors to make sure that all those lines are nice and cut, since sometimes if you push it too into the punch, it doesn't cut them fully, and so just taking those scissors, it makes it so you can, distress it a little bit more. I've decided to come with this card and use my rounded corner punch to create just a different look, since I had so many sharp edges on this page, and I really liked how that kind of brought in a different look for this page and kind of brought in that doily with the curved edges as well. I want to add a little bit more green to the bottom right hand corner of this cluster, so I take out these labels and add my date stamp to them. I also add this label to some book page paper that I just had laying around. In hindsight, I would have added that to cardstock like I usually do, because it was a little too flimsy for my liking on that book page paper, but I cut it out anyhow. And then I'm going to add some of those large eyelets with my crocodile and this label just to add another texture to this page. Originally, I was going to use my pencil to make sure that everything was lined up, but then I realized that I was just using the dot grid label, and I could just punch out right on the dots. Every other dot worked perfectly and gave me a nice even line to put these eyelets in. Once those eyelets are put in, I'll work on putting this cluster together. Now I'm going to use liquid glue to add the label to that flashcard, but after that I'm going to use some score tape to put that tea bag onto the cluster. The score tape is basically scrapbook.com's version, so it's not technically score tape, but it works amazing to add things that you can't use liquid glue on, like this tea bag, because I don't want liquid glue oozing everywhere and then drying and creating this yucky look on this page. And so that score tape holds really tight and really well, and you just need a little tiny amount, and that will hold it all together. I really like the feminine touch that the doily gave this page, and also the contrast between the lacy doily and those metal eyelets. So now it's time to come to put these floral pieces down. So I definitely know that I want this bottom left-hand one to be over the tea bag to kind of knock back the whole white corner I have going on there, but also to keep that floral piece in the cluster. I did use that score tape for that floral one down there, but this top one, I wanted to kind of go over and under the verse card, and so that kind of gives a different look. I also wanted to add the little tea bag tag that ByTheWell4God created. So I chose the green one so it kind of fit with my theme. I am grunging it up just a little bit. And now it's time to finish up this background. Now I had some tea bags that I used to dye the ByTheWell4God tea bag that I didn't use. And so I decided to use these on the page. Now what I've noticed is if you use collage medium and tea bags and just place it in the background, it almost looks like some old masking tape, and I really love the look of it. You know how masking tape kind of gives that grungy look after a couple years, and so I love adding this. Now my trick is to make sure that the collage medium only goes where that tea bag's going to be, because you don't want that shine anywhere else. And so even though it says matte, you can still kind of see a little bit of a shine. So that's my little tip for that. But I love the addition and the texture that it gives the background. So I'll make sure that those are nice and dry before I start gluing this whole cluster down. I really love the look of this background. It's almost hard to cover up. That resist almost look with the gesso over the VersaFine ink with that defined stamp set, the handwriting one right where my hand is. I love that area right there. But I still have to put this cluster down, so I'm going to be using a ton of Barely Arts precision glue. Now I'm making sure to avoid where that tea bag is, because like I said, I don't want any liquid glue oozing out, and that would definitely happen with that tea bag. So I'm placing this down, but I realized that flash card is a little bit wonky, so I picked it up in enough time where I can fix it and make sure that it's a little bit more straight, and I'm covering up all the places that kind of ripped a little bit. After that, this Bible journaling page will be complete. If you've enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to my channel. Also, don't forget to click that bell notification button so you don't miss any future videos. You can also follow me over on Instagram at Wonderfully Made Handcrafting, and I'll try to link everything I use down below in the description. I hope you have a wonderful day, guys. Bye.